Hey everyone, so here's a quick Tuesday morning update on the Apple's current pain, what I like to call it kind of an altered view of Max Pain. Right here you have 40,000 open interest on the 350s. Let me get this for you. So yeah, 40,000, and then you have the 330s up here on the put side with the most open interest. So the name of the game is institutional money writes all this. Apple won't go below 330, won't go above 350. Your guess is as good as mine on where in the middle. That's why I don't use the exact Max Pain 340. If it closes there, that's fine. I'm just saying 330, 350, 340 would be the midpoint. That's fine. And it doesn't have to pin every single time, like 340, 341, 343. It's all going to be the same. 35. What you have here, like I said, you kind of got to watch out for the total volume right here. So they're going to want the number one, and this changes. This can be puts, it can be calls, but it's usually on Apple. People buy more calls. So the number one thing is they need to protect this 40,000 in the call side way before they protect this. So they'd rather expire 300,000 worthless than 250 worthless. So you have 40,000 versus only 30,000. So your 30,000 is way down here. So if they go under that's a 345. So they go under 345, that's almost 70,000, little under right there versus that. So that's what you kind of gotta look for. And here's kind of another segment. I don't want to confuse people with that's the name of the game. Now, as far as reality goes, like a perfect scenario would be you meet in the middle. It's probably 340 because you want to get rid of that, and then if you come all the way out here, that should be 340 right there too. So you get rid of all those. So that would be a perfect scenario. But things do come up. Volume picks up, volatility, hedging, whatever. So anywhere in that range. If you're going to trade this, so we'll hop to another topic. This is strictly how to trade this data. Be careful if you're just starting out. Do against your long stock or long leaps or something. Do start on the call side. Just write calls. Even though Apple's not going to go above 3, say this was the beginning of the OPEX cycle. Even though that shows the open interest, Apple at any time really can just bust through that. So me personally, I go way out here and I'll sell, for example, say there's 4 weeks left for this to expire. I'll go way out here, sell the 380, or sell, something out here, whatever you feel comfortable with. And then I'll roll it down, and then say this week, come down to the 350, and that's fine. Just because put all this time and energy into Apple's fundamentals, it's worth way more, and I don't want to be caught holding this and that, because at any time it can blow through. So I know this data, but I don't exactly use it right there. I just I know why Apple's trading where it is. It's nothing on the charts. It's nothing, fundamentally. And then on the put side, you got to be careful. I do put spreads. Here's what I do. Even though, because it does happen every so often, even though the highest open interest is 330, I keep saying, it's not going to go below it. Every once in a while, it will. It'll go, 329 is kind of good, is going to be good enough, because who knows if their cost basis was $5 for this or $10 or whatever. And so they're taking a dollar loss. So they're only making $9 on it, So you got to watch out for that. So what I do is I go to your risk tolerance, like go and sell. So give yourself a buffer, that it's not going to go below that. It shouldn't. But what if it does? So you have the 345s up here, or 320s. I'm sorry. It really shouldn't go below that. It really shouldn't go below this 325. But then even come down here, whatever your risk tolerance is. So like me personally, I had 315s that I wrote. I was short the 315s and long the 310s. So I just have a little buffer. So that's real world trading. If you want to, if if you just want to risk, one contract or whatever, write a spread up here. That's completely fine, but just don't, please don't go out and just, write 20 contracts or, 10 G's worth of stuff on this because, oh, he said it won't go below that. There's things that happen. Like, Apple's at 332 right now, and some news comes out or just some heavy pressure comes in, like retailers finally give up or people finally liquidate their stock or a hedge fund, implodes, or like even commodities, they start going up and margin calls, so they got to sell. So there's things you got to watch out for that just volume comes in and kind of takes over. So that's why I give a little buffer. So in the real world, if you're more conservative, sell down here, sell up here, and then roll down, and then you can always say when you sold the 300s or whatever, and then Apple ran up to 350. So roll them up. So now roll those 300s up to 325s or this 330. If Apple's in this range. So that's more real world. But overall, Apple shouldn't go above 350. Shouldn't go below 330. I'd say a good actual real max pain, if you were to a real strike, would be 340, kind of meet in the middle there. And again, pinning is something totally different than max pain to my eyes. Pinning is perfectly normal. It's why did the stock get to that? I'll go over it in another series. So pinning is not max pain. They're completely different. Pinning is a normal market function. It's where the market maker is the only one left to take the other side of the trade when there's half an hour left on a Friday, 15 minutes left. There's no, institution money isn't going to want to take that on. So market maker takes your buy order, or yours would be sell to close. He would buy it from you. He has to offset, and he would, needs to short 100 shares. It gets knocked down. So that's where the pinning process takes. That's completely fine. That's not what we're after. We're after why did the stock get to 340? If it was trading 340, 339, of course it's going to pin 350 because of that normal hedging function, a market maker function, people, all these retailers closing out last minute, of course. But why did it get to that 351? Why was it not allowed to go above 345? Why was it not allowed to go below 335? That's what I'm getting at. As far as the pinning goes, I could care less because it's perfect. There's an explanation for it. It's fine. This is just complete manipulation. So it'll probably come back to bite me, come Friday. But right now, Apple's 332, and voila, we're trading above that. It keeps hitting, towards that 330 area and magically bouncing off. So